Not bad. Not bad. Definitely fooled me.
The quality of guitar tabs that are available seems to vary greatly.
It's
That's
weird.
true.
This is so. Remember I told a story once about how I learned When I Fall by going to the music store. Maybe I haven't told everybody this. When I was in university, I went to a music store for about a couple of weeks. They had When I Fall in the Born on a Pirate Ship album. They had the chord book for it, and I basically sat and memorized portions of it. Then I would go home and play it because I didn't have the money to spend on $35 or whatever I didn't have at the time really to spend on a chord book for no reason. And so I just learned it that way. And then I did a couple other songs that way too. But when I actually had money because I had the part-time job and whatnot, I went out and bought all the chord books that were Bare Naked Ladies related, and I taught myself all those songs out of those books because it's proper, correct, whatever. Even to the point where I was like reading I don't know how to read music and play guitar off of like staves. I can tab is okay, but I can't do it off of like standard staves. But I was teaching myself, okay, that is there and that is there, and so therefore my finger should be like this, yes, because the chord diagram in it. Da, 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 da. So I learned "Light Up My Room" out of the book, and not out of what some person worked out for themselves and put online. And so I'm reading their thing, and I'm like, that's not right. That's not the right change. Why is that not the right change? Oh, because it's close enough.
Mm.
So
It's interesting.
that's the lick.
With something that, like when there is like a book like that, like there is a definitive source. You think that would be, what goes around the internet. It isn't just like what some random person thought was the thing.
So do you know about the fake book? You know what fake books are? Okay, so
No.
a fake book in jazz, especially, but generally with standards and stuff. Ooh, 420 and 69. Thank you, Flippenstein.
Nice.
A fake book is a book where all of the changes, usually for jazz standards and stuff, but all the changes and stuff had all been worked out. And so they make these things to be like, here's a workup of how you can play this song with all the chord changes and everything baked into it. And then at one point, some group of guys, I think at Berkeley, they made what they called the real book, because they'd said, we have all these different fake books, all these different designs and whatever, like all the different like chord changes and stuff that people have worked out, but we need to make one that's definitive, that has everything in it. And so they called it the real book. And they put all the ones that were like, these are the ones that are correct. We're going to put it all together. We're going to photocopy it ourselves. Like, we're going to print them ourselves. We're going to sell them, like, because you are not allowed to sell this because, of course, all these companies own all these songs.
Mm.
But now they're making all of this thing called the real book, and all these musicians were buying the real book and buying like different editions of the real book, and they were going out and they were illegal because all these companies were like, if we find out who's making this, we are shutting them down and we're going to sue them for copyright infringement, because this is how we exist, is by getting musicians to buy the music, and royalties being paid to people who wrote it. And so everyone was like, yeah, all right. And so they all learned how to play these jazz standards off of real books. But a lot of the stuff in the books was wrong.
Oh.
And you wouldn't know that because this is more of a evolution of different fake books doing different things a different way, and everyone being like, no. Well, this one is right, or this one's almost right, but change these couple of chords or whatever, and they're cleaning this stuff up, but they actually never got it all correct.
Hmm.
And so at some point, the companies found out who was doing it, and it was like Berkeley Music. Their students there doing it, and so they shut them down. I have no idea if they had to pay for it or whatever. But then the company, you can go and buy the real book now, and it's a new edition, and it's official, because it's like, you go buy that real book, it is the real book.
It's all licensed.
Yes, but you know what it isn't? Correct. Because too many people have learned to play the jazz standards with these chords as opposed to the actual chords. And so the real book is a way to play fake versions of the actual songs.
And so that philosophy has sort of continued on to the online space when people are making chords and stuff, where it's just sort of make it how it sounds.
Yeah, like when I chorded out a song, when I worked out "Long Way Back Home," I was like, it's very simple. It's just G, D, A minor seventh, and C. And then other people are like, well, no, there's an A minor seventh sus4 or whatever in there, or there's like this other thing, A minor sus4. Or there's like this C, it's a C add 9, or it's a C add 913 or whatever it is. And it's like, well, that can make it sound nicer, but is that the actual chord? Who knows? And so I put up online as I think this is close, because BNL is also kind of known for not doing terribly complicated chords. So I thought maybe the more simple chords are the ones that they would use anyway. And I had a guy write me back. He's like, this is very close. I would change this here and I'd change this here. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I changed it online, but I didn't resubmit. And I think he ended up resubmitting with the proper chord names. I was like, that's fine. But I don't think that's either of us have quite nailed it. Whatever they're doing in the song is probably actually correct. And if I ever found a copy of, because the stunt book doesn't have Long Way Back Home in it because it's a hidden track on the album. They never actually listed it that way. And I think there's a bathroom session of Ed Robertson playing. He did a whole thing for network music called the Bathroom Sessions, where Ed and sometimes another member of BNL would go into the bathroom and they would play the songs, and you get to watch what he's doing, and it's all posted on YouTube. And it was a great way for me to be able to like see what is he actually doing at that point. Where are his hands? Where are his fingers pressing? And that was a very valuable way finally to be able to see this is how Ed plays this song.
I know there's a lot of things about songs where it's like, yeah, it's like you can play the song so that it sounds like the song, but to play it how it actually, the exact way that it is on the album is actually like way more complicated.
Yeah.
Something fancy going on.
Yeah, they're like, I decided to add these two things in here, and doesn't that sound nice? It's like, it does, but I can do that on a piano, but I can't do that on guitar, right? Like that kind of thing. And like H. Bowman French just mentioned, Some Fantastic. I love that song. The fact that they did it in the bathroom sessions was really cool. I got to see how they play stuff there too, and kind of taught myself on that. I've forgotten a lot of it, but also that is a song that I taught myself out of the book based on chord designs and what they were actually playing in the staves, because I can read music, but not on the guitar. And yeah, it was like, took a while to learn it properly. And when I did, I'm like, this is really good. I had to figure out where to put my fingers and stuff. And then of course there's a video. It's like, here's where you put your fingers. I'm like, oh, thanks, Ed. I wish you'd put that out with the book. So